What jobs can AI not replace? 3 capabilities separate the workers who survive from the workers who don't. Unpredictable physical problem solving. High-stakes judgment where errors destroy lives. Authentic relationship building based on trust. But here's what they're not telling you. These 3 aren't random. They share one pattern that Silicon Valley desperately needs you to ignore. Because the moment you see it, their entire narrative about AI skills and education collapses. Right now, this quarter, companies are analyzing your role using this exact framework. They're not asking if you're good at your job. They're asking if an algorithm can do it for 3 cents per hour instead of your salary. And the answer determines whether you're still employed by March. Let me show you what I found when I analyzed 150,000 tech layoff announcements from the past 3 years. While companies fired knowledge workers making $85,000 annually, they desperately hired tradespeople at $65,000. A Google software engineer with a master's degree from Stanford? Replaced. An HVAC technician with a high school diploma who started as an apprentice? Tripled his revenue. It just needs to be cheaper at predictable tasks. Here's the data that proves it. Between January 2023 and November 2025, tech companies eliminated 183,000 positions. 71% shared one characteristic: predictable pattern work. The same analysis every quarter. The same coordination process every week. The same content format every day. AI doesn't need to be better than you, but 3 job categories saw 0 mass layoffs. Physical systems engineers, up 15%. Crisis negotiators, up 22%. Client relationship managers, up 18%. These roles got more valuable while automation spread. Now here's where it gets personal. March 14th, 2025. Sarah opens her email at 6:43 a.m. Subject line: workforce optimization. She's 34, MBA from Northwestern. 8 years analyzing customer data for Amazon. Her entire team of 12 analysts? Gone. Replaced by Claude AI processing the same reports for 3 cents per hour instead of $85. Sarah's manager told her she was excellent at her job. Top performer. Consistent 5-star reviews. None of it mattered. Because her work followed patterns. Quarterly reports with the same structure. Dashboard updates with the same metrics. Presentations with the same format. AI could learn the pattern in 72 hours. Her 8 years of experience became worthless overnight. But 300 miles away, Mike's phone won't stop ringing. He's an HVAC technician. $65,000 salary. No college degree. Started as an apprentice at 19. He's now turning down jobs because demand exceeds his capacity to serve customers. In the same period Sarah lost everything, Mike tripled his business revenue. What's the difference? Unpredictability. This is the first capability, and it reveals the pattern Silicon Valley can't acknowledge. AI excels in controlled environments where variables are known. Amazon's warehouses run 750,000 robots, achieving 99.7% accuracy. Temperature controlled, lighting controlled, floor surfaces mapped to the millimeter. Every motion programmed, every scenario predicted. But put that same AI system in a building from 1942 with corroded pipes behind walls that nobody mapped, and it's completely useless. Google discovered this the expensive way. They invested $14 million in 2024 launching an AI-powered home repair service. Failed within 8 months. Too many unique variables. Every house different. Every problem requiring human judgment about unknowns. Bureau of Labor Statistics tracked what happened to skilled trades since AI breakthroughs. Plumbers, 23% wage increase. Electricians, 26%. HVAC technicians, 21%. While knowledge workers saw 8% salary declines, trades saw massive increases. Because these jobs operate in uncertainty. Think about what Mike actually does when he gets a service call. Homeowner says the air conditioning isn't cooling properly. Sounds simple until he arrives. The house was built in 1967. Someone added a second floor in 1989 without permits. The ductwork doesn't match any standard configuration. The electrical panel is outdated. There's insulation blocking airflow in places the homeowner doesn't know exist. The previous repair technician did something weird that makes no sense. Mike has to diagnose this using experience, intuition, physical inspection, and judgment about unknown factors. No AI can replicate this because it requires operating in uncertainty. Every situation presents variables that weren't in the training data. This is why these workers cannot be replaced. Not because they're smarter than AI, because they navigate unpredictability that AI cannot handle. If your job requires adapting to unique physical situations, you're safe. But if your environment is a laptop and your variables are spreadsheets, you're in the elimination queue, because your work happens in certainty. Known inputs, known processes, known outputs. That's the pattern AI targets. Now here's the second capability, and this one exposes why companies are lying about AI safety. High-stakes judgment where being wrong destroys lives. OpenAI's GPT-4 operates at 86% accuracy on complex reasoning. Sounds impressive until you're the 14%. You're the criminal defendant whose AI-recommended plea bargain means 20 years in prison instead of probation. You're the patient who dies because AI chose the wrong emergency protocol. You're the family whose home collapses because AI approved faulty structural calculations. Society will never accept algorithmic failure in life or death decisions. I found internal documents from 3 Fortune 500 legal departments that tested AI for case strategy in 2024. All 3 abandoned it within months. One got sued for malpractice when their AI cited completely fabricated legal precedents in court filings. The lawyers didn't catch it. The judge did. Career-ending mistake. But here's what makes this fascinating. While companies eliminate low-stakes jobs, they're paying massive premiums for high-stakes human judgment. Criminal defense attorneys saw 31% compensation increases since 2023. Emergency room doctors, 31%. Crisis negotiators, 28%. Structural engineers who sign off on building safety, 34%. Nuclear plant operators, 41%. Why? Because as AI handles more routine decisions, the value of human judgment in critical moments becomes more expensive. No insurance company will cover an AI making life or death choices. The legal liability is unlimited. Companies will pay whatever it takes to avoid catastrophic failures. Here's how this affects you. If your job involves decisions where mistakes are acceptable losses, you're replaceable. Marketing campaign fails? Try again. Customer service error? Issue a refund. Data analysis mistake? Rerun the report. These are low-stakes decisions where 14% failure rates don't destroy companies. But if your job involves decisions where errors mean someone dies, goes to prison, loses their life savings, or a building collapses, you're essential. Not because you're more accurate than AI, because you accept responsibility in ways algorithms never can. A doctor signs their name. An engineer stamps their license number. A lawyer faces disbarment. AI has no accountability. That's why high-stakes judgment cannot be automated. This reveals the second part of the pattern. AI excels at low-stakes certainty. Humans remain essential for high-stakes uncertainty. Now watch what happens when you see the third capability. Authentic relationship building where trust determines everything. ChatGPT can simulate empathy, generate supportive responses, mimic vulnerability language, but it cannot build the actual relationship required for someone to reveal their deepest fears. And Silicon Valley knows this. They're just hoping you don't. International Coaching Federation tracked executive coaching since AI therapy apps launched. Hiring up 28%. Session rates increased from $450 to $625. These aren't AI-assisted sessions, pure human relationships, because executives aren't paying for advice. They're paying for someone who can challenge their blind spots without destroying the relationship. An executive coach doesn't just provide strategies. They earn trust over years. They understand unspoken family dynamics. They read micro-expressions during difficult conversations. They know when to push based on subtle emotional cues invisible to algorithms. This cannot be simulated because it requires authentic vulnerability that AI fundamentally cannot create. Want proof? 7 AI therapy apps launched between 2023 and 2024. All 7 shut down in 2024. Users reported feeling hollow despite technically correct responses. The apps could diagnose depression, recommend evidence-based interventions, track mood patterns perfectly. But users abandoned them because humans need authentic connection, not simulated empathy. Here's the economic data that proves it. Human wealth advisors maintain 91% annual client retention. AI-assisted financial planning services, 23%. Even when AI provides better investment returns, clients leave. Because they're not buying algorithms. They're buying relationships with someone who understands their family dynamics, risk tolerance, mortality fears, and legacy concerns. Licensed therapist positions increased by 40,000 since 2023, not hybrid models, not AI-assisted therapy. Pure human therapeutic relationships. Because people will pay massive premiums for authentic connection in high-stakes emotional situations. Now you see the complete pattern. All 3 capabilities require the same thing. Judgment in uncertainty. Unpredictable physical environments where variables are unknown. High-stakes decisions where failure is unacceptable. Authentic relationships where trust cannot be simulated. AI excels at certainty. Humans excel at uncertainty. That's the pattern they need you to miss. Because once you see it, you realize something they desperately want hidden. The skills that protect you cannot be taught in boot camps. They cannot be learned from online courses. They require years of experience navigating uncertainty in real situations. Which means, if you've been working for 8, 10, 15 years, you already have protection. You just need to identify which capability your current role contains. Here's why this matters right now. Companies are making elimination decisions this quarter using this exact framework. They're mapping every role to these 3 capabilities. 0 capabilities? You're in the first wave of cuts. 1 capability? You're medium risk. 2 capabilities? You're probably safe. 3 capabilities? You're becoming more valuable as automation spreads. Sarah had 0. Her predictable data analysis in a controlled environment with low-stakes decisions and no relationship requirements. 0 capabilities. Eliminated. Mike had 2. Unpredictable physical environments plus high-stakes safety judgment. 2 capabilities. Revenue tripled. The difference wasn't education or intelligence. It was exposure to uncertainty. So here's what you do in the next 72 hours. Map your current role to these 3 capabilities. Be honest. Does your job require navigating unpredictable situations? Are your decisions high stakes where mistakes destroy lives? Do you build authentic trust-based relationships? Count them. 0 capabilities? You have 3 to 6 months before your role gets evaluated for elimination. Start developing 1 capability immediately. Not AI skills, not more education. Find ways to introduce uncertainty into your work. Volunteer for projects with unknown variables. Build relationships where trust matters. Take on decisions with real consequences. 1 capability? Your medium risk. Strengthen the one you have and develop a second. 2 capabilities? Focus on making both visible. Document the uncertainty you navigate. Highlight the stakes of your decisions. Demonstrate the relationships you build. Because when elimination rounds happen, you need leadership to recognize your protection. 3 capabilities? You're not just safe. You're becoming more valuable. Companies will pay premiums to keep you as they eliminate everyone else. The companies making these decisions want you focused on AI skills, because uncertainty skills can't be taught quickly. They require real experience in real situations with real consequences. If you're 8 years into your career, you have that experience. You just need to position it correctly before the elimination rounds accelerate. I built a complete framework that maps 200 specific job titles to these 3 capabilities. Shows you exactly which capability your industry values most. Gives you the exact positioning language to make your protection visible to decision makers. It's called the AI Career Survival Kit, link in the description. The companies analyzing you right now aren't asking if you're good at your job. They're asking if you operate in certainty or uncertainty. That's the only question that determines who survives the automation wave.